Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Rockies franchise. Towards the end of May, going into the month of June, the Rockies sit here at 15-33. We are definitely not doing well to start the season, and it's definitely shown. And you can just see right here our team rankings. We're 24th ranked as far as roster, 24th in contact, 27th in power, 27th in pitching, 29th in defense, and 20th in speed. We definitely need a facelift to this organization. We are 28th right now ranked in batting average, which is terrible, 28th ranked in on-base percentage, which is also terrible, but Jose Iglesias and Charlie Blackmon are the only ones over 300 at this point, and then 24th in ERA, where Derek Rodriguez leads us. He has 5 wins on the season, and German Marquez is right behind him, but nowhere to be found is our ace, Jose Barrios. Now, the top prospects in baseball as we hop into the MLB draft episode looks like this. How about one of our subscriber recruits being the number one prospect in baseball right now, in James Lawson? He is 80 overall too, at 8 potential. Justin Maxwell is our second ranked subscriber recruit at number 12. And the number 1 overall pick last year in the draft was Justin Vargas. He is pretty good. He's very good defensively. I'm not sure he's going to be a guy that's going to hit for power. He's a second baseman. And the Pittsburgh Pirates took him number 1 overall last season. Now, Will Benson is number 23 overall in the top 50 prospect rankings. And just looking at him, he's hitting about 256 on the year. And on-base percentage is very good, actually, at 377. He draws a lot of walks. So that is a good sign for us. We do have one more top 50 recruit, and that is Zach Veen. If you go down to number 48 here he is in right field. Now, Zach Veen is still probably another year away or two, to be honest with you. He's 19 years old, but I love his potential. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Now, he was our number 1 overall prospect. He is hitting 286 on the year. Zion Storm is off to a good start at AA, hitting 302. Watch out for him. He is our future at second base. Ryan Vilade is hitting 278. I definitely love that because last year he struggled. He hit like 220 last year. He's supposed to be, him and Brendan Rodgers are supposed to be competing for that shortstop of the future. I'm not sure if Rodgers is ever going to get to shortstop. I like him at second base right now, so that's where we're going to keep him. At the AAA level, Josh Fuentes is hitting 237. We don't really have anybody else hitting very, very well except for Jonathan Champion, who's hitting 302, but he's only 61 overall in C potential, but he's having a good year this year. But Hitor Takahashi is not off to a good start at all, hitting 177. I'm probably going to move him down to AA because he is not doing well at all at AAA, and I want him to progress a little faster than what he is. So I look around the transaction log, and I notice that the Padres traded Mackenzie Gore. Now, they traded him for Barry Gasoldo, but they traded their top pitching prospect in their organization and one of the top prospects in baseball for Barry Gasoldo, who was 26 years old. I guess they're going for the gold right now. They're trying to get that ring. And at left field, I mean, he is the starter there, but I'm not sure they needed much of an upgrade. They did have Trent Grisham, but Delino DeShields is hitting below 200. But to trade their top prospect for Barry Gasoldo, I'm not sure about that move. So going into the draft, we are going to be drafting at number 8 overall. Pittsburgh ends up with the number 1 pick for the second straight season. But this year we have a competitive balance round A pick. So this is going to be interesting. We actually have the number 7 pick. We have 2 picks in like the first 37 picks. So let's see what happens as we enter the MLB draft. Kyle Rayner goes number 1 overall. I'm not really sure how good he's going to be. He is a shortstop who is second baseman who is 21 years of age, only 50 overall, 80 potential. That 50 overall will be something exactly like 52 or 48. It's usually something around there. It doesn't deviate much from that prediction from these blue chips. Now, the one guy that we wanted in last episode that we talked about out of UCLA was Tommy Newcomb. He goes number 2 overall to the Orioles. So the Orioles just land Mackenzie Gore and Tommy Newcomb. So we look at our draft picks here, and who should we go after? Well, we have a couple of guys. One guy I was hoping that would fall to us here is Muhammad Willingham. The guy can just flat out hit the baseball. He went to Penn State University. He played 4 years of baseball there, and here he is suiting up at PNC Park for some batting practice in a Pirates uniform at that. And you can just see here, man, his swing is just magical. MLB scouts are comparing him to the machine, Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols in his day hit for high average, also had a high on-base percentage. He was just amazing as a hitter. He has that type of swing. You can just see here, the ball just absolutely jumps off of his bat, and he's got excellent vision and excellent contact. I mean, he is a great hitter. Now, the other guy I am considering here is Lawrence Bowlich. He is 21 years old, 75 potential, so not exactly 80 potential, but he went to Ohio State, played some baseball there, and he was a guy that just gets on base. Now, he is a different player from Muhammad Willingham because he is just a guy that's going to hit at the top of your order. He's going to get you runs scored, and this is what we're missing right now at the MLB level. We don't have a guy. Well, we have a Jose Iglesias who gets on base at a high clip, but besides Iglesias and Blackmon, who else is getting on base right now? Who's getting hits? Our average at 28, our on-base percentage at 28 as well. We need a guy that's going to get on base. Now, we do consider some other guys, BJ Gustafson and Eli Rivera, but Eli Rivera is 65 potential. I'm not going to get drafted a 65 potential guy in the first round. Maybe the second if he's there, we'll see. What I like about him is that he is 70 overall, and his ETA is actually next season. But I decide to go back to Muhammad Willingham. He is a beast. A first baseman at that. He can play catcher, but his fielding could be a little bit of an issue. So we will draft the power hitting first baseman out of Penn State, and he will come to the Rockies. Now let's look in round 1 to see if Lawrence Bowlich went off the board, and he did. 21 to the Indians. So the Indians have themselves two guys who we, I guess, wanted. Trevor Story, we traded him to the Indians, and then they drafted Lawrence Bowlich. So in the second round, I definitely want to go after Eli Rivera. I don't think there's any debate here because I definitely want a guy. My plan in this draft is early to draft guys that are closer MLB ETA to now. I don't want a guy that's 2026 plus. I want guys that are ready sooner rather than later with still high potential. So we go with Eli Rivera out of Oregon with our second pick. Now, with our second round pick, that was the competitive balance pick. With this second round pick, I have a lot of guys scouted, but not high accuracy. It's pretty good accuracy, so I need to be careful with this pick. Alonzo Valentin is interesting. He has 75 potential, but 65 overall, but I'm looking for something just a little bit more intriguing. Nick Pinto is a closing pitcher. He is a lefty, but right now, I don't think I want to go after him. He's 18 years old, though, but I think I can get relief pitching later. But one guy I look at here is Willie Parra. I highlighted him last episode as being a guy that's a really good high potential guy that at least can contribute to the MLB level sooner rather than later. He's not an 80 potential, but I like that he starts out at 70 overall. He's not going to take much development to get him ready, so I will draft him. I'm guessing he will be about a C potential. It won't be like a B, but maybe he can earn that potential being a minor leaguer of the year or something like that, or just progressing naturally and killing it at, his level wherever he's at. Now in the next round, we look at an outfielder here, Bo Borowitz. He is 70 potential, 18 years old. I like that he is young. He's got good speed. His hitting zones are very, very good. So maybe that tells me that he's going to be a good hitter. I'm going to draft him. Why not? After these first few rounds, you start just drafting for pure potential. So next I go after Nick Pinto. He is a closing pitcher. He's still on the mound. I highlighted him, still on the board. I highlighted him, a couple of rounds ago. He's still there, so why not go after him? A lefty closer. Now Nelson Montoya is next, another closing pitcher, but I know they're not going to always play closer. I'm going to put him probably in the bullpen at relief somehow. So we'll see what happens with those two guys. I like those two relief pitchers. We need help in the bullpen. Now, lastly, I go after Ramon Chacin. He is pretty good. Now, I don't know how accurate these ratings are going to be, but he has 75 potential, 2026 plus. So why not just take a flyer on him? And that will be our draft. But I am really, really excited to see what Muhammad Willingham ends up being, along with Eli Rivera, our first two picks. And we find out here, Muhammad Willingham is a monster. Look at these hitting ratings. His power versus left is 73. His power versus right is 49, a little bit lower, but his vision is at 76. His clutch is at 75. I mean, he is going to be such a good hitter out of the gate. Now, let's talk about the negatives, though. His fielding, terrible, 37. Now, it went down 13 points from what the Blue Chips had scouted, but it's okay because he is such a good hitter. The power is undeniable. His hitting zones have to get better, but I think 1 year in the minors and he could be ready. He is going to be a potential. I love this pick. 6'4" power hitter. I love this right now, and I think he's going to be a big cornerstone of the future. He is right now probably our number one prospect in the organization in front of Zach Veen. Now, Eli Rivera in the second round, we ended up snagging him. Great overall, 74 overall, but only C potential. His fielding isn't bad, but it's obviously not good. His accuracy is very low, which I'm kind of worried about because playing in the outfield, you have to have kind of an accurate arm. He's going to play left field. He's not going to play right field. He needs a better arm than that. Now, Willie Parra in that second round after the competitive balance round, he ends up being 71 overall, but D potential. I'm very disappointed at that. I was hoping that he would be C, so I don't know. He could have regressed sooner than he progresses. And that D potential is at 63. It's not like 68 or 69. It's 63. It's very, very low. Now, with our next pick, Bo Borowitz ends up being decent. C potential, 18 years old. He's got some power hitting versus left at 70 right now, which is actually really good. And his arm is very good at 77, and his fielding is at 77 as well. So he's going to have a good arm in the future. Nick Pinto, who we took a flyer on, he's 67 potential, but only 60 overall. Nelson Montoya isn't bad, though. He is 78 potential, 63 overall. He's going to take quite a few years to develop, though, probably 3. And I don't mind that pick right there. That's the second to last pick. Why not? And Ramon Chacin only ends up being 55 overall, C potential. But the guy I'm really excited about is Muhammad Willingham. Eli Rivera is actually pretty good. I'm hoping that, he has a good season in the minor leagues, and then maybe he'll move up. Because he's at 74 overall right now, he would be like one of our highest overall prospects that we have in the organization at this moment. Now, Lawrence Bolich ends up being 73 overall in B potential. So we made the right move going with Willingham, but Bolich isn't bad. It's not like he's a bad pick, but he's obviously lower potential. And then Kyle Rayner, who was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, he will be renamed to one of you guys. Not this episode. Do not submit this episode, but he ends up being 49 overall and A potential. So that wraps up the draft. Now I want to take a look at our AA affiliates, the Hartford Yard Goats. Now, I actually did go ahead and download the real stadiums in the vault. Thank you guys for whoever created those stadiums for our AA and AAA affiliates. This is not them, though. We are on the road in this game. So let's just check out our AA affiliates and see how they are doing, because they are the most recent draft class. Most of the guys in our draft that we had last year are at the AA level here, including the number 1 overall pick, Jermaine Wetzel, who we had last year. Not number 1 overall, but number 1 for us. He is only about 54 overall and A potential, and he is actually struggling at the AA level right now. That's going to bring up Brian Simmons with 2 men on. He's going to get a low pitch, and he drives one deep, and that one will be gone. Brian Simmons, one of our subscriber recruits. He was at A-ball last year. He's got pop to his bat. He's not hitting for high average right now, but he is a potential guy probably 2 years down the road who can be competing for that third base spot. Here is Jordan Jones, who we drafted in the second round last MLB draft. He goes to right field, and that one will be a hit. And that's going to bring up Eric Pena. A lot of you guys are Eric Pena fans. When I made this trade, when the Royals offered an offer for Kyle Freeland, and they wanted to trade away Eric Pena, you guys loved that trade. So here he is, but he's only hitting 186 at the AA level. Definitely struggling so far. He's A potential, but I'm not sure how good he's going to be. Now here comes Tyler Miller up to the plate, another one of our subscriber recruits. He was in the MLB draft last year. He goes up the middle, and that one gets through. Another base hit for the Hartford Yard Goats. That one gets to center, and it will score to and advance Eric Pena to third base. It's 5-0 here in the first inning, and still 1 out. and the manager has seen enough. He will pull this pitcher after only getting 1 out. Wow, in the first inning, that's got to be tough. Atlas Luncic gets the start on the mound. Here he comes to the plate here in the 9-hole. He's going to bunt the runner over, and let's see what happens. The third baseman goes to second and tries to turn a double play, but a run comes in to score. It is 6-0 here in the first inning. Zion Storm comes around to bat for his second at-bat of the inning, and that time he can't keep up with the heater. That one will be a swing and miss. Zion Storm is on a 9-game hitting streak. Let's see if he can extend it here in his final at-bat, and he just swings and misses. But nonetheless, our Hartford Yard Goats get the win here as we took a look at the prospects really quick. And Ryan Valade at shortstop is a guy to look out for at this level. He is hitting about 280 this year. I am very, very looking forward to him developing. He is going to be probably one of our future shortstops. I'm not sure if he'll be the starter, but he is very, very good. He's very good defensively. He went 2 for 4 in this game. Jordan Jones, who was our second-round pick last year, also had 2 hits as well. So here's our injured list, about halfway, not even halfway through the season. We're about 60 games in, and Derek Rodriguez is shaken up a little bit. He's got a strained oblique. That's not really a serious injury. Gregory Teixeira and Zach Veen actually is out 1 to 2 months. He had a torn calf, but I'm not mad at this because, you know, they still progress. Even when they're hurt like this, they still progress like they're just playing. So he's hitting 288, which means he's going to progress at a pretty good rate. 333 on base percentage, 390 slugging, 723 OBP. And then Rafael Marchand is actually hurt for a while, and he is our future catcher, probably 2 years down the road. Now, Will Benson, I think it's time for him to move up to the major leagues. We need something right now, and our major league team is not doing well. And Will Benson, not the one thing I love about him, but the great thing I love about him is that arm. It's accurate, it's strong, it's definitely going to get us some help in the defensive side of the ball. I'm talking in football terms there, but I think he's going to add to our outfield for sure. And I think that he's a guy that can really, you know, when there's guys on second and there's a hit to outfield, we always give up the run. But I think Will Benson will definitely help that situation, will definitely hold up runners, and possibly even save some runs and throw some guys out and get some gold gloves, hopefully, in the outfield in the future. So that's going to do it. I think that next episode we will move up Will Benson, and we will check out the debut of him at the MLB level. And I'm excited about him. He is our number 2 overall prospect right now at the moment. I probably Willingham, when we sign him, it will be him number 1, Zach V number 2, and then Will Benson number 3. But Benson is going to be no longer a prospect. We're moving him up now, and we'll let him play out the rest of the season unless he absolutely struggles. And we are sitting here at 16-38. Derek Rodriguez will go for his 6th win here versus the Pirates, and we will be at home. And the Pirates are once again struggling. They could have the number 1 overall pick next year, or we could, the way it's looking. 16-38, we have 1 less win and 1 more loss. So hit subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of our draft class here in this episode. I love Willingham. Rest of the guys I'm not sure about, but I like Eli Rivera as well. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tinted. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.